Yo, what up, guys? Alright, so in the last video, we were setting up the authentication um, part of our application, and also we set up the VOLLEY library. So in this video, this is going to be part 2 where we test to see if we can authenticate on the app. Before we do that, the one last thing I forgot to do within the last video is to set up the Android manifest file. So there's a couple of settings we need in there. It's mainly two, but yeah, within here we need to allow for network permissions. So if I come back here, I'm gonna say users permission, right? And then the name will be internet. Who is it? Internet, right? So this will allow us to make network calls. Otherwise, if you don't set this up, the app won't do that. The other thing I want to add here on this application is another what you call it, property here. So this will allow us to see any network errors. So I'm going to say users clear text traffic, and then I'm going to have to set this to true. So again, this will allow us to check within the logcat to see if there were any network errors. If we don't set this up, we won't see what was going on. Alright, so that's the last thing we needed to do. Now what I need to do, I hope everything is correct here. All I need to do is install the app onto my phone again, and then we will test and see if we can log in. Oh no, actually I forgot one thing. The login button, right? So let's see. Here we're gonna create a method here. Right, just gonna call it process login. Okay, so when clicking the button, this is the method that it's going to call: public okay. So we're gonna call the login, what did I name this? Login button. And then we're gonna add a set on click listener. And then we're gonna say new, right? So we're gonna use this view dot on click listener, right? And then what this method is gonna do is gonna call this method that we just created down here, authenticate user. Right? And then we're gonna obviously pass in the, what you call it, I think it should be these two. Sorry, the text field here. Alright, so we're gonna say login edit text field email dot get text dot toString. I'm gonna put this on the next line. So we're gonna say login password field dot get text dot toString, right? So remember, we are expecting two parameters within our, which is the email and the password. And then basically this method is going to proceed with authenticating us, or authenticating our user, and then from there on, if we successfully log in, if we're successful, this information will get stored within the preferences, and then this value of authenticated will be sent to true, and then from there on we will proceed to the main activity. So I think everything is fine so far. I think everything is fine so far. So this is where we're gonna call the process login method, which is within our on create method over here. I hope everything that we need to work with this is in order. So I'm just gonna continue with what you call it, applying the changes and then installing the app. I'm gonna let the app install, and then for the time being, I'm gonna what you call it, pause the video, and then we will start with testing once the application is done installing. Again, one moment for me, please. Just a quick note, my application gave an error, so I have to reinstall and restart the app. This basically just applies minor changes, but if you have like, if we made a number of changes like we made here, obviously that won't work. So I'm just gonna reinstall and restart the app, and then I'm gonna pause the video again. Alright, so the application is done installing. So let me bring up my screen. So remember, I'm using Samsung Flow to project my actual device. So I'm gonna then run the application. Firstly, I want to stop it just to show you, right? I'm gonna run the application. So because we're not authenticated, again, the process should be that it takes us to the login screen. As you can see, it's taken us to the login screen. So we're gonna use janedoe.example.com and password123 to authenticate. So if we do authenticate, it'll take us to the main activity, and hopefully it'll store all this information, right? So let's proceed with that. Right, so it's going to be Jane. The password should be password 123. Alright, so if everything is in order, we should be able to log in. Failed to log in, so clearly there's an issue there. Let me try again. Oh, sorry, spelling is wrong. Example.com. Okay, I'm gonna test again. Okay, so login was successful. So as you can see, looks like we managed to successfully log into our application, and now this is the main activity screen. Now I'm gonna close the application. So remember, we set it so that if the authentication is successful, it should set this authenticated boolean value to true, which means now if I close the application, wait, let me go back to the app. If I close this application, right, I'm gonna close it, and then I'm gonna go back again to my application. It should take us directly to the main activity, and there you go. So as you can see, looks like our application is now working. So now to prove this, in the next video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on a profile page where it's gonna show all this information. There's a couple of things we need to set up first within the main activity, so just to show that we are getting the details and they are stored within our application. So I'll end this video here, and then in the next video we'll work on displaying the user's profile information. Again guys, if you've liked what you've seen so far, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I thank you again for watching. Cheers for now.